Today, I'm going to go over creating a pivot chart. If you're familiar with pivot tables, this will be very similar. It'll just take that data and put it into a visual chart format. So I've got some data here. It is tasks that need to be completed by all of the operations that we have in our fictitious company around the world. This column breaks it down by country. This column has a 1 for each task, so we know how many total tasks each country does. And then this open count tells me whether or not that task has been completed. It's a 0 if it's been completed because it's not open, and it's a 1 if it has not been completed and is still open. So we'll go into the Insert tab. The pivot tables over here. We want the pivot chart. Put the pivot chart on a new workbook. It'll automatically create both a pivot table and the pivot chart. You cannot have a pivot chart without the pivot table. So like I said, we'll break it down by country, and then we'll bring in both the count and the open count. So we'll make this bigger so we can see this chart. We've got a lot of countries here. First thing we can do is go into the Design tab, add chart elements. We can put a title. We can call it task status by country. Obviously make it whatever color we want. This chart element, we can look at our legend. We can move it, but really what I want to do with the legend is I want to kind of put it in the actual data here. And then I want to maximize the amount of space that this chart takes up. So now we can see it a little bit better. We'll move this title up, put the legend a little bit more in the corner, just personal preference. What I want to do now is, what I really want to see is who has the most open. So we can see opens the orange box. So Switzerland looks pretty high. Algeria looks pretty high. Poland looks pretty high. Netherlands. So I'm going to right click the countries here and I'm going to sort. More sort options. I'll sort descending based on the sum of the open count. So descending will give me the highest value first, and then it'll give me head downward to the lowest value. So I want the highest open count. I hit OK. And now that'll bring out Switzerland to the front of the list. So this could be a nice visual I could send out to our worldwide management team so that we can see, what country needs to prioritize completions. And one more thing we could do is we could add a data label to these open. So then we could see, hey, Switzerland, that bar, that's 70 tasks. Netherlands, that bar, that's 32. Algeria, 31. And then once we get out here to Thailand, everybody's got 0. But even though we can't really see a bar here, Portugal's got 4, USA's got 2, Spain and Hungary have 1. So the great thing about this is, this is downloaded data from a system. As I re-download it and that data updates, all I have to do is come over here, refresh the pivot table, and this chart will automatically update as well.